Winston Churchill, a name that resonates through history as a symbol of resilience, leadership, and determination, played a defining role in shaping the modern world. He is best known for his leadership during World War II, but his contributions to British and global politics spanned over 6 decades. From his early years as a soldier and war correspondent to his tenure as Prime Minister and his influence in the Cold War, Churchill's life was one of remarkable achievements, political setbacks, and enduring legacy. Born on November 30, 1874, at Blenheim Palace in Oxfordshire, England, Winston Leonard Spencer Churchill belonged to an aristocratic lineage. His father, Lord Randolph Churchill, was a prominent conservative politician, and his mother, Jenny Jerome, was an American socialite. Despite his privileged background, Churchill struggled academically and was often rebellious. However, he eventually found his calling in military service. After attending Harrow School, he was admitted to the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst, where he excelled. Commissioned into the 4th Queen's Own Hussars in 1895, Churchill saw active service in India and Sudan. His adventurous spirit led him to become a war correspondent, covering conflicts such as the Cuban War of Independence and the Second Boer War. His daring escape from a Boer prisoner of war camp in 1899 made him a national hero and paved the way for his entry into politics. Churchill began his political career in 1900 when he was elected as a Conservative Member of Parliament for Oldham. However, he soon shifted to the Liberal Party, advocating for social reforms, including labor rights and unemployment benefits. By 1911, he had risen to the position of First Lord of the Admiralty, where he focused on modernizing the Royal Navy. His political career faced a major setback during World War I with the Gallipoli Campaign of 1915. The failed military operation, which sought to open a new front against the Ottoman Empire, resulted in heavy casualties and damaged Churchill's reputation. Forced to resign from his Admiralty post, he briefly served in the trenches on the Western Front before returning to politics. By the end of the war, he had re-established himself and became Minister of Munitions in 1917, overseeing Britain's arms production. The interwar years were a tumultuous period in Churchill's career. He rejoined the Conservative Party in 1924 and served as Chancellor of the Exchequer, overseeing Britain's return to the gold standard, a decision that had negative economic consequences. He also gained notoriety for his opposition to Indian independence, a stance that alienated him from many in the political establishment. Despite being politically marginalized, Churchill remained vocal about international affairs. Throughout the 1930s, he warned against the growing threat of Nazi Germany and criticized Britain's policy of appeasement towards Adolf Hitler. His warnings were largely ignored, and he spent much of the decade in political isolation, a period often referred to as his wilderness years. When World War II broke out in 1939, Churchill was appointed First Lord of the Admiralty once again. Following the failure of Neville Chamberlain's policy of appeasement, Churchill was appointed Prime Minister in May 1940. At a time when Britain faced the imminent threat of invasion, Churchill's leadership proved crucial. His powerful speeches, including "We shall fight on the beaches" and "Their finest hour," inspired the British people to endure the hardships of war. Under his leadership, Britain stood firm against the German Blitz and played a key role in forming the Allied coalition with the United States and the Soviet Union. Churchill was instrumental in planning major military operations, including the D-Day invasion of 1944, which marked the beginning of the end for Nazi Germany. Despite his wartime success, Churchill's Conservative Party was defeated in the 1945 general election, and he was replaced by Clement Attlee. Nevertheless, he remained an influential figure in global politics. Although out of office, Churchill continued to shape global affairs. In 1946, he delivered his famous Iron Curtain speech in Fulton, Missouri, warning about the expansion of Soviet influence in Eastern Europe. This speech is often considered the beginning of the Cold War. In 1951, Churchill was re-elected as Prime Minister, but his second term was marked by declining health. He focused on maintaining Britain's position on the world stage and navigating Cold War tensions, but by 1955, he resigned from office, handing over leadership to Anthony Eden. In his later years, Churchill devoted himself to writing and painting. He authored multiple volumes on the history of Britain and World War II, earning the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1953. Despite deteriorating health, he remained a revered public figure. Churchill passed away on January 24, 1965, at the age of 90. His state funeral was one of the largest in history, attended by world leaders who paid tribute to his extraordinary life and contributions. Winston Churchill was more than a wartime leader. He was a complex and multifaceted figure. His legacy is one of resilience, brilliant oratory, and unwavering determination. While some of his policies and views remain controversial, his role in defending democracy and shaping the modern world is undeniable. His words and actions continue to inspire leaders and individuals alike, reminding us that, as he once said, "Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts."